never thought a simple weekend trip could unravel everything I thought I knew about my marriage. My wife, Olivia, had told me she was going on a girls' trip with her closest friends. I nodded, masking the unease bubbling inside me, and pretended to be supportive. After all, I had always trusted her. Trust, in my mind, was sacred, especially in a 10-year marriage like ours. But something about the way she avoided eye contact when she mentioned the trip didn't sit right. Her friends, as always, had been vocal about their excitement. I overheard snippets of their planning while Olivia packed. Laughter, secretive whispers, and that familiar tone of condescension whenever I asked a simple question. "It's just a girls' weekend," she said sharply. "You don't need to know the details." That statement stuck with me like a thorn. Something about her sharpness, the way she closed herself off, felt different this time, heavier. Meanwhile, I had a plan of my own. I wasn't going to sit at home pretending everything was fine. I had someone waiting for me too. Her name was Ashley, my girlfriend for the past year. I knew this was risky, but the sense of justice, the need to reclaim my own worth, pushed me forward. I told Ashley to pack lightly, warned her we'd have to stay under the radar, and assured her that everything depended on timing. The drive there felt endless. Every mile brought a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. Olivia had no idea I knew more than she suspected. The hotel we were staying at was the same one she had booked. And the closer we got, the more I realized just how meticulously she had hidden the truth. The sense of betrayal was intoxicating, sharp enough to sting. Yet I kept my expression calm. In my experience, emotion in a confrontation like this was a luxury. You needed clarity, patience, and the ability to see all angles before making your move. As I approached the hotel lobby, I spotted them. Olivia, laughing with a man I hadn't met before. Tall, confident, with an easy charm that immediately set my instincts on fire. My stomach twisted. The girls' trip had never been about friendship. It was a cover, a stage for a secret she had carefully rehearsed. And now, standing just yards away, I realized I was about to step into a scene that would change everything. I stayed in the shadows for a moment, letting myself absorb the scene. Olivia's laughter rang louder than usual, coated with a thrill that didn't belong to friendship. The way she leaned into the man, Brandon, as I later learned, was intimate, casual, like they had shared secrets meant only for each other. Every instinct in me screamed that this was far beyond a harmless fling. And yet I reminded myself to breathe, to keep my face neutral. Rage could ruin everything I was about to do. Ashley, standing beside me, gave me a quiet nod. She knew the plan: observe, gather proof, confront. But more than that, she understood why I couldn't let this pass without witnessing it myself. I needed to see the full scope of the betrayal, the gestures, the whispers, the moments Olivia had carefully hidden from me for months. Trust, I thought bitterly, is fragile, and hers had crumbled quietly under my nose. I moved closer under the pretense of checking into the hotel, pretending not to notice Olivia and Brandon. Every step I took felt like a calculated chess move. I watched her smile, the way her hand brushed against his arm, and felt a mix of anger, sorrow, and disbelief. This was the woman I had shared my life with, the one I'd invested a decade of love and loyalty into, now performing affection for someone else, in broad daylight. Then came the moment that made my blood run cold and adrenaline spike simultaneously. Olivia turned and looked right at me, or at least I thought she did. Her eyes widened for a brief fraction of a second, a flicker of recognition and panic before her carefully maintained composure returned. She didn't know I had a witness, didn't know Ashley was here with me, didn't know that I was about to turn the tables on every lie she had spun. Ashley reached for my hand, a silent anchor, and whispered, "Whenever you're ready." I inhaled deeply, letting the air steady the storm inside. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and finally holding the mirror up to the woman who had thought she could deceive me. I had learned long ago that in situations like these, patience and timing mattered more than raw emotion. I stepped forward, my heart steady despite the chaos swirling around me. Olivia continued to laugh, unaware that the night she thought would be hers alone was about to unravel in ways she could never imagine. I approached Olivia slowly, letting my presence announce itself without words. The laughter halted mid-sentence, replaced by a frozen disbelief that was almost delicious to witness. Brandon turned, confusion etching his features as he realized who I was. But it was Olivia's reaction that held the weight. Her eyes darted between Ashley and me, understanding dawning too late. What are you doing here?" she stammered, her voice cracking slightly. I didn't answer immediately. Silence carried more power than any argument I could have thrown at her. The betrayal, the lies, the casual cruelty of her actions, it all hit her now, in a fraction of a heartbeat, and she realized she had underestimated me. Ashley stayed quietly behind me, letting the moment breathe, letting Olivia feel the consequences of her deception. I took a calm step closer, each movement deliberate. "I came to see for myself," I said finally, my voice steady and cold. "To see exactly what you thought you could hide from me." There was no anger in my words, only clarity, the kind that comes from knowing you are the one in control of your own dignity. Olivia opened her mouth, probably to excuse herself, to lie again. But the words never came. I could see the panic rising in her, the realization that her carefully constructed world was collapsing. Brandon's confusion turned into an awkward retreat, and Olivia's eyes pleaded for some invisible mercy. A second chance she had already squandered. I didn't give it to her. Not now, not ever. Betrayal of this scale is not forgiven with excuses or fleeting apologies. It is faced, acknowledged, and left behind. I nodded at Ashley, signaling that it was time to leave. The strength of our decision, our unity, was a quiet triumph, more satisfying than any confrontation or argument could have been. As we walked away, Olivia's gaze followed us, filled with the realization that her lies had consequences far greater than she had anticipated. The so-called girls' trip that was meant to conceal her affair had instead exposed her completely, to the one person whose trust she had destroyed, and to the world she had underestimated. For the first time in a long while, I felt a sense of liberation. The betrayal was raw, painful, and undeniable. But so was the clarity and freedom that came from walking away from someone who could not value what we had built together. I glanced at Ashley, and for the first time that weekend, I smiled genuinely. Justice isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, firm, and undeniable.